we've had 4 record years, and we hope we can continue that uptick. It's going to be a challenge this year with the 2 major floods we had and with the downturn in the oil industry. But I got no doubt with the team and the passion, I feel the energy in the room here today that we can make that happen. We hope after these flood waters recede from the last neighborhood in Louisiana, we can spin that in a positive way and ask people around the country and the world, help us get back on our feet, help us rebuild, come to Louisiana, spend some money, and show your love for Louisiana. So I think after Katrina, we didn't do a good job. We talked about the bad for so long because it took so long to rebuild. We want to get our family and our neighbors back in their homes as quickly as possible, and we want to turn those floods into a positive to ask people that are feeling our pain, come spend a few dollars in Louisiana and help us recovery. So I really think we can turn it into a positive at the end for the tourism industry in Louisiana.
We are the Louisiana Travel Promotion Association, and we are the private sector arm of the tourism industry in Louisiana. We've got members, approximately 750 to 800 members across the state of Louisiana in all sectors of the tourism industry.
Tourism is such an economic driver for Louisiana. Last year we had 28.9 million visitors that spent $11.5 billion in our state. That left $843 million in state tax revenue that you and I, as citizens of Louisiana, didn't have to pay for the services of government.
Welcome to the 2016 Tourism Summit. And while we are certainly excited to kick off this year's conference, all of us do so with a very heavy heart. Much of South Louisiana has suffered significant loss because of last week's flooding. In fact, usually this position is held by our chair, Phil Frost, who is currently in Baton Rouge doing the important things that are needed for his community. And we wish Phil and everyone in his family and on his staff at the Baton Rouge Zoo the very best. Despite the troubling times that we're having, I am so encouraged by the love and support shown by our tourism community, by all of you. So many of you have reached out and offered assistance to those who were directly affected. Thank you very much. Your compassion shows the true spirit of our state of Louisiana.
And families from around to visit that great facility. And that was built with all private dollars, with just the encouragement that we will do everything we can to market those great attractions around the state. We can see more hotels and attractions in every community. So I challenge you to go home and think about what we can do to bring more people to your community, new attractions, and work with the private-public partners to make that happen. You know, one thing we don't talk a lot about is the arts. And over the last several years, the arts has been zeroed out in Louisiana. They receive no funding through the state. Every year, the lieutenant governor has funded many programs with matching private donations through the lieutenant governor's office. But that takes money away from the tourism dollars we have to promote this great state. Now, I want to give you one example of the arts and how important it is to Louisiana. Since 1960, the Grammys have been honoring Louisiana's contribution to the nation's musical landscape. 56 out of 58 years, Louisiana has someone nominated for the Grammys. Per capita, Louisiana has had more nominees than any other state. And as a matter of fact, the name Grammy actually came from Jay Dana of New Orleans, who won a contest in 1958 by the Recording Academy and was named, she picked the name. This year, we had 18 nominees and 2 winners. John Cleary and Buddy Guy both came home with Grammys. But the thing I am most proud of is a school teacher, Krista Fanning, at Caddo Middle Magnet School, right here in Shreveport. She has been a finalist in the top 10 finalists of Music Educator of the Year, and that's her 3rd nomination. Let's give her a round. So we will continue to fund the arts programs out of the lieutenant governor's budget until we can do a better job of getting money direct from the legislators for those valuable programs that the arts provides. I wanted to thank the governor's wife, Donna, who has been a passionate partner in supporting the arts. And I want to thank the governor and first lady. He is committed to supporting the tourism industry, and we have been working closely together to make sure we continue to grow our industry. And I want to thank both of them. We have recently came back from the largest tourism international trip with 28 tourism professionals, went to Canada. And I got to tell you, rather than get up here and give a long, boring speech like I'm doing here tonight, I asked each of the groups to get up and talk a little bit about who they represent, where they came from, the hotel, the event, the city. And as they got up to speak, I went around the room, much like here today, and I sat and talked with the travel agency and tour operators. And I said, tell me why you send people to Louisiana. What is it? Well, of course, you heard the food, the music, the culture. But I got to tell you, every one of them had a story about how we treated people like family, how we welcomed everyone. And I got to tell you a couple of those stories. One elderly lady was telling me she sent some people down to Lafayette, and they were sitting having dinner, and they pulled them out their chair and taught them to dance the Cajun dance. And then in Crowley, while having dinner, a lady was bragging on the bread pudding, and the lady went in the kitchen and got her grandmother's recipe and gave it to her. And then there was a couple that was lost trying to find Poverty Point, because it's way up there in the northeast corner. And someone said, follow me, and drove them 30 minutes away to the entrance of the park. But I got one last story I got to share with you, and I won't embarrass and tell her name. But there was one lady stood up, and she said, I represent 3 days in, and we got the best breakfast, and we've got this. I've never been more excited to stay at a Days Inn before. She had that love and passion for her company and what she did. It really got you excited. But that's the kind of passion in this room. That's the kind of love each and every one of you have for what you represent, and that's why this is the greatest job in the world. I want to also, the service here today, let's give them a round. The hotels, the CVBs, restaurants, all of our waiters, bartenders, housekeepers, musicians, that's what makes it special. You see the smile on the faces here today. They have that same love and passion that we have for the industry that greets our visitors from all over the world, that give them that same feeling of feeling like family. From the employees that work with me in the Office of Tourism, state parks, libraries, museums, they surely don't do it for the money. And I want to tell you, they have that same love and passion. As the Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism, there are hundreds in my office that have dedicated their life to our mission of promoting and preserving Louisiana's culture. And it's because that great team, day in and day out, and the folks back home working in the office right now, and the employees here today, that make my job so easy. So let's give all of them here and back home a round of applause. Together, we're going to make this happen, and I'd like to take a look at some of the things that are going on. Thank you. Man, this is way too long. I never seen that before. Good? You did that? Okay. We'll give you credit. Wow. Nicely done. That was the first time I got to see that, too. That's what the flood did. I got in here last night, and so that was very nicely done. Thank you. As we look forward to the coming year, we have several new exciting areas to focus on. And two of those industries are the fishing and the horse industry. Toledo Bend was named the #1 bass fishing lake in the country by Bassmaster Magazine, not only this year, the second year in a row. What a great thing to have here in Louisiana. You know,
Come to Louisiana.
I used to say down in Plaquemines Parish, you can fish anywhere, but you catch fish in Plaquemines Parish. Well, I've had to change that a little bit. So I have to say now you can fish anywhere, but you catch fish in Louisiana. We want to promote the great fishing we have all over this state, much like they do in Florida. They go to Florida and they fish every lake and stream. We've got the best fishing right here in Louisiana, and we're going to do more to promote that. The horse industry is something that each parish with these beautiful arenas has promoted on their own for many years. We want to get a statewide plan and work with those arenas to fill them up and have more shows and attract more of those horse people from Texas and Mississippi. As they leave Texas to go to Mississippi to do the circuit, we want to create those opportunities right here in Louisiana. We also want to partner with the racetracks. These are opportunities in those communities where they're located to really have them partner with us and share the promotion cost of getting people into their communities. You know, we were speaking about the great seafood, and we all know we have the best seafood in the world. And we had the Louisiana Seafood Board hosted the Great American Seafood Cook-Off again this year in New Orleans. We had 11 chefs from around the country to be named the king or queen of American seafood. Now, those chefs will go home and brag about the time they had in Louisiana, promoting the great seafood, but also the great time they had here in our state. Now, our Louisiana King of Seafood, Chef Blake Phillips, who represented as well, but he didn't come home with the gold. It went to Mississippi. The Mississippi chef won the competition with a great shrimp dish. Now, I had the DNA checked on those shrimp, and they were Louisiana shrimp. Another program that has been such a great success is our Music Ambassador program that allowed those talented musicians to bring the beat of Louisiana around the country and around the world. Well, this year we're going to roll out a new ambassador program. It's going to be an ambassador program called Only Louisiana. And this program will transfer you and all the residents of Louisiana into ambassadors that will empower them to spread our message across the world. Anyone in the state can participate as an Only Louisiana ambassador. They simply post their photos about what they love most and passionate about here in Louisiana under the hashtag Only Louisiana, Twitter, or Instagram, and post directly to Louisiana Travel Facebook. We will encourage and get an army of residents pushing that message out across the country and across the world. With so many military families here in Louisiana and their friends and family around the world, it will be an economic engine pushing that message out. And through social media today will be a great tool in our toolbox for spreading and getting the most bang for our buck in promoting our great state. I also want to work with all of the parishes that aren't a partner here today, that haven't seen the need to promote tourism. I want to go personally to those council governments and talk to them about joining this team until we have every parish represented here working together, pulling in the same direction, making sure we're promoting all of Louisiana. We also want to work on an infrastructure package. Most of you heard me talk about this in small groups. As I travel the state and see the challenges for some areas that may not have the political stroke to get the funding in Baton Rouge, like Toledo Bend with a sewer line, finishing I-49. There's a lot of small projects, turning lanes to get campus into state parks. We need to work and put a package together, and as the state budget recovers, go into Baton Rouge with that package where all of these projects that will benefit and increase tourism around the state, we can be successful in getting these projects funded, and we're going to work with each of the local communities to make sure that happen. I also want to make sure we promote interstate travel. We haven't done a good job of that in the past. And today, many of you raised your hand at Poverty Point. If I do that below I-10, I may get one hand. So many people don't know about the great fishing in Toledo Bend and all the great things like the Waterworks Museum up here in Shreveport and all the great things we have. We want to be able to get the red snapper fishermen in Grand Isle to catch a bass in Toledo Bend, and we want to get the bass fishermen in Toledo Bend to go hook a tarpon off of Venice. We want to get people from North Louisiana to visit Avery Island, the Tabasco capital, that they have promoted the same recipe for the last 140 years, and they've got a new welcome center there and restaurant that you've got to see. And we want to encourage people to move around the state and staycation at home. We've got so many great things to see with the Creole Nation trails, the brewery trails, and all the great opportunities around the state. If you haven't been to the Bentley Hotel in Alexandria, completely redone, it's worth going there just to see it. We've got so many great things to see. I'll share with you one little story. As a kid, my dad would pack us up in the car with that wood paneling on the side of the station wagon, and we'd head to Toledo Bend fishing and go visit a couple state parks. And as a kid, I always wanted to see where Bonnie and Clyde was shot. And he always said, it's too far out the way, we can't go. We're doing the campaign. I got a chance to go speak to the chamber in Arcadis, and I went a little early and I drove down to that spot, took a picture, and got to visit the Bonnie and Clyde Museum. We've got so many neat attractions like that all over the state that we need to get people to move around the state. We're too quick sometimes to jump in the car and go to the Florida coast or go to Dallas and Houston, and we need to encourage those people to stay right here at home. Our ambassador program will also add to that in helping people point out those special things in their community, because we don't have the resources, the dollars to promote every corner and every little neat thing in every community. That ambassador program will really lead to making that happen. As you know, each year we unveil our marketing campaign at Summit, and as we discussed, our focus should be, it's clear that we are the sportsman's paradise. And we decided this year, because of the National Park Service celebrating its 100th year, there was no better time than now to promote the great outdoors of Louisiana, from the bayous of South Louisiana to the rolling hills up here in North Louisiana. It's a great opportunity to mix everything that we have that's so special with the great outdoors and piggyback on all that money the National Park Service is going to spend to get you to go explore the great outdoors of the United States. Where else can you catch a fish in the day and catch a pair of Mardi Gras beads at night? 1 minute you can put on your boots for riding horses, and next put on your dancing shoes to dance the Zydeco. So let's take a look at our creative campaign right now. Thank you.
Our journey starts with our inspiration guide showing both the Louisiana outdoors and one of the countless festivals ready to entertain visitors from every corner of the globe. As our ads appear on screens around the world, the viewer will recognize that the outdoors of Louisiana offer adventure around every corner. The images this year will show the beautiful landscapes and amazing sportsman's paradise waiting for the best outdoorsman. From fishing to painting, camping to canoeing, the potential visitor will be taken on an advanced adventure through the Louisiana experience. Now let's watch as the outdoors of Louisiana comes to life.
Come to Louisiana. I'll show you the best fishing in the whole world. I can also show you some of the best places to eat fish in the whole world. Because it's prepared by some of the best chefs in the whole world. and served to you by the friendliest people in the whole world, like Josephine. Say hello, Josephine.
Hey, sweetie.
Louisiana's calling, and she's using her outside voice. Visit LouisianaTravel.com today and plan our trip. Because around here, you're never far from a good time.
We got to teach you to cast
Louisiana,
better.
and I'll show you some beautiful campgrounds and trails.
Trails that lead to some of the best music in the whole world.
Played by some of the best musicians in the whole world. Louisiana's calling.
And she's using her outside voice.
Visit LouisianaTravel.com today and plan our trip. Because around here, you're never far from a good time.
Come to Louisiana and I'll show you one of the most unique outdoor environments in the whole world. I can also show you some very unique indoor environments as well. Full of some of the most unique people in the whole world. Louisiana's calling.
And she's using her outside voice.
Visit LouisianaTravel.com today to plan our trip. Because around here, you're never far from a good time.
Let's give our team that put that together a hand. They do a great job. As we wrap up here today, no idea is a bad idea, just some are better than others, and we've got to take those good ideas and make them happen. I've gotten to see Louisiana over the last 7 months. I've traveled throughout the state, spreading our message why Louisiana is the best place on earth. Since January, I've visited over 190 cities and towns. Wow, that's why I'm losing my voice. But I'm not slowing down. Thank you for keeping me so busy, and thank you for giving me the best job in the world. I want to thank my wife, Cher, for sharing me with Louisiana. You might have seen her on the billboards during the campaign. People say that's why I won. It was because of her. She wanted to be here today. She enjoys visiting with you at these events, but I couldn't pull her away. She's in Santa Monica today helping victims from the flood, and she's been there all week, and I just want to thank her for her dedication. And I'll say it one more time. We've got the best food, music, culture, and history, but the thing that makes Louisiana so special, it's you, the people. And that's the greatest asset of this great state. It's your love and passion for Louisiana that makes Louisiana home. So let's go out and open the doors of Louisiana to the world. Thank you, and God bless you. The passion and love in this room and the energy is like nothing else in the world. I've got the greatest job in the world, to work with people like this, that they don't do it for the pay. They truly love what they do, and I'm just lucky to have this opportunity.
Well, those dollars flow throughout our entire state, and the rural communities benefit just as much as the larger communities. All 64 parishes are impacted by tourism and receive the 38-to-1 return on investment that we give back to the state.
Tourism is big business, and in some communities, it's all of their economic development.
And what do you feel the state needs to do to support tourism?
I think that we need to realize that it is an economic development engine, and that it produces jobs, it produces tax revenues, and it's an important sector, and we need to support it.
Tourism is among the state's mainstay economies, and as such, it occupies a hugely important role in the economy and the culture of the state.
It's certainly important. It's a large economic driver for our community. It brings in a lot of people for recreational fishing, swamp tours, food, of course, in South Louisiana being so important. So tourism really is an important aspect of driving our economy.
I think Louisiana has more to offer by way of growth than just about anywhere in the United States. The ability to bring people in through cities like New Orleans, but also the drive market, pulling from Texas to Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, really makes for such a great destination, and coming often. I think the ability to have people come and visit Louisiana year-round is important.
We know that Louisiana seafood is one of the big attractors to get people to come visit the state because there's just nothing like getting that fresh seafood right after it's come out of the Gulf, and they know we've got the best seafood in the country. And then there's a lot of folks who like to come here and maybe catch a little bit of their own while they're here too. So we know seafood plays a big role in tourism.
Our state is known for great food and great music, and now we got all sorts of gaming and adult entertainment opportunities up here. We're just a destination for people from all over the world that really don't know how great we got it here, and this will help more people become aware of what we do have here in our city and our state.
So many of our citizens do work in for companies and venues that provide those services, and so the jobs are generated because of that. And it means that families are now able to take care of themselves, and they're able to give back to the community. So it does create jobs for us.
I'd like to see the state devote more resources to international travel. I think that the world is shrinking, and Louisiana is a place that everyone in the world would like to visit. And I'd like to see more effort placed on international inbound tourism.
I am extremely encouraged. Our Lieutenant Governor and our Louisiana Office of Tourism is just doing an awesome job promoting our state and working in partnership with all of our Convention and Visitors Bureaus and the Louisiana Travel Promotion Association.
In order to enhance tourism, we need to all be focused on what we always do: hospitality, hospitality, and hospitality. The southern charm of the people of Louisiana just ingratiate themselves with the visitors we have here, and they go and tell their stories to their friends and to everyone on social media.
What I'm asking everybody right now to do is to sign up to volunteerlouisiana.gov as a volunteer, make a donation, go work with one of the charities listed to help us rebuild. And that is a great tool for Louisiana to help our neighbors and family in times like this. So that'll be a real opportunity as we get through this flood to help our neighbors out.
Have them call the Louisiana Travel Promotion Association at 225-346-1857, or they can email one of us. My email address is jkidder@ltpa.org.